Hi there. So today I wanted to talk about my approach to permaculture here in the Puna district of the Big Island. I know there are a lot of different conversations going on out there about permaculture. A lot of the things that are said in that conversation don't really have this particular unique environment in mind. So I thought I would share my approach, how I do things, what works for me, what doesn't, and things that I've learned to watch out for. First, let me tell you why this matters. Here in Puna, we don't have much soil, and I know that wherever you are in the world, you're going to complain about your soil. Mine's not acidic enough. It doesn't drain well. It has too many rocks. It's too sandy. Yeah, no, I don't have any soil. We are on a fairly recent lava flow, and there's effectively a thin layer of mud. It's not even really soil to speak of. So we are here in a area of my yard that I am currently developing. Thought I'd show you how that process looks and how things start out, and hopefully how they look when I'm finished. I don't know. It's a slow process. You can see here that my first step, at least in this project, is to let the grass die off underneath. It just allows me to see things a little clearer and see what I'm dealing with, how I need to approach it, what rocks need to be pulled out, things like that. So let's go look at what my bare soil looks like. So this is what I'm starting with, and you can see why I put the tarp down first to let everything get killed off. You can see that a lot of it is sleeping grass, which if you don't already know, sleeping grass, this guy right here, sleeping grass, is covered in thorns. It's not something you really want to reach blindly for and just get your hands serrated like a saw blade. So what does that mean? It means forget the shovel. You need a pickaxe and an O bar. It's important to mention that this area of my yard was previously broken up by a D9 bulldozer several years ago in a land clearing process called ripping. It then grew back in weeds and invasive trees. We then had another machine come in and grub the area, reducing the army of weeds and invasive trees down to compost. That's the origin of the small amount of soil and compost you can see here. Unfortunately, but not unexpectedly, some of those shards dropped root and became new pest plants. As I developed the area, I try to mix in as many food plants as I can, mixing in nitrogen-fixing plants as well as food for pollinators and native plants. I don't plan things out on paper because, as you can see, the way the lava formed on my particular property dictates how deeply I can dig. So you can see there's a pile of rocks. There's a small amount of soil here. You should be able to see that the bluestone is kind of the bedrock. That's as far as I'm going. It is cracked here. If I really wanted to punish my lower back, I might be able to get it out, but I think the rock is winning today. If you ever wonder what it's like to live here, the answer is imagine digging rocks out for the rest of your life. Okay, so we've established that I have no soil. We've established what it is that I'm actually planting in. A little pile of some good compost, admittedly, but not really dirt, not soil, there is life in it, which is good. The answer is to bring in soil. You have to. You can't produce compost at a rate that planting at this scale will allow. It's just too many demands. Okay, so let's get this palm in the ground. So we have to bring in soil. This is cinder soil, a cinder soil mix. It's a mix of Hamakua coast soil, which has nice, deep, rich red soil, and a ratio of this soil to black cinder. The ratio matters because I believe the higher you are, the higher your altitude, the more cinder you need mixed in. If you don't mix in the cinder, it all kind of clumps together, and it's kind of hard for the roots to get through, and water doesn't drain, and you got to have the right amount of cinder in. Oh, if you're wondering about the plastic, if you don't cover it in plastic, The rain will wash most of it away. The pigs will root through it for worms. The weeds will overtake it. It'll be covered in guinea grass and Coster's curse and all these terrible, invasive, annoying plants that we have here. So yeah, black plastic keeps the undesirables away.
I have to let the land tell me what I can plant and where I can plant it. Unless the area I'm trying to plant was previously ripped by the D9, I'm limited in how easy and how deep I can dig a garden.
So this is called a triangle palm, and he is very unhappy because he has outgrown his pot. We're gonna do something about that today. One thing these rocks are good for is roughing up the roots. They make a great abrasive surface. So I just take a rock, rub it around the roots. And that kind of lets them know there's a place to go, a place to grow. That's what we all need, a place to grow.
Deep areas become fruit trees, slightly less deep become shrubs and palms, and shallow areas become ground cover, like ginger, turmeric, and taro.
The palm's in the ground, so we're done, right? Not even close. The cinder soil is great. It's better than not having any soil, but there's no life in it. It's still sterile almost. So how do we get life in here? That's where the permaculture side really starts to kick in. First thing we got to do is get some more roots in here. We do that by planting a ground cover. So what is my preferred ground cover here? Nitrogen fixing legume known as peanut grass. I try to put peanut grass everywhere I can. It actually makes a tasty, small, yellow, edible flour that tastes like bean sprouts. Goes great on a sandwich or in a salad. The chickens like to eat it, the ducks like to eat it, and it's a nitrogen fixing legume. It gives a slow drip of nitrogen into the soil. We've got something similar to soil. We've got a living mulch, a nitrogen fixing legume as a ground cover. Great support plant, the peanut grass. We gotta be done, right? No. Next thing is wood chips. Lots of wood chips. Well, you can see it really well now because it's all been stirred around with the shovel. The other reason you want to use wood chips is because it creates a sponge for water. Once the wood chips are saturated, they hold the water until the environment dries out, then they start releasing it. So there you have it. And look what we achieved today. Why am I even talking about all of this? Well, I'm going to start talking a little more about this permaculture idea. Next time, I'm going to talk about these support plants, get in a little deeper about why you should use them, how you should use them, and the risks involved. And just as a heads up, some of these guys want to take over your entire garden. It's good to know how to keep them in line and under control. So be sure to like and subscribe, and watch out for that video. Thanks for watching, and keep growing.